Okay, it's like did you have maybe some kind of stereotypes that you had back in the US that you came here maybe found out it wasn't true? Maybe some things you
I
maybe you
didn't
found
have
out
any.
true.
I didn't have any stereotypes. I don't think. I've been to Kenya before, and I've been. I mean, I think I've gone to a number of different places. So I think I don't.
I think this is one place which was on my bucket list, having traveled 39 countries. I had not done a vacation in Kenya, though I've been come to Kenya earlier, but
Hello and welcome to the next. My name is John. We are back in the streets right now at the temporary Masai Market location. We are asking foreigners about their experiences in Nairobi, like living as foreigners here. And also, I tried to find out like how the foreigners moving to Kenya, how this has impacted their lives. In case you're yet to subscribe, please do. It helps us grow as a channel. Like and subscribe. Where are you guys from?
Where are you from?
Yeah,
We're from the U.S. The three of us. Yeah.
all of you.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, your experience in Nairobi so far?
I like it. I think it's pretty nice. We've been really enjoying it. We've been here for 2 weeks. We're going to be here for another 2 weeks. It's really awesome.
So have you had any inconvenience? There maybe a foreigner here?
Inconvenience?
For
I
me
don't know.
personally, I would say it's a lot of convenience because the public transportation is really actually nice. You can get up, get out of the room and anywhere, and you can go anywhere you want. And it's a cheap price, and you can go places. You don't have that in the States. Everything's a lot Uber related and a lot more expensive. So I like how free it is. Even stuff like this, it's really nice. So I think it's really
Yeah.
nice.
I agree with both of them. So like, it's just everything is really nice of how everything is and how nice everybody is, and that inside America, it's like nobody's usually like this nice and everything like that. So it's just nice being around here.
Okay. Have you had any inconvenience since you came here?
No, I do not think so. I think the only inconvenience would probably be just like whenever people are speaking Swahili to me straight off the bat, or if they don't speak in English, then I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. But other than that, everything has been good.
Okay, you don't understand Swahili, any bit of it.
No, I do not.
No, not yet.
Inconvenience?
Oh, inconveniences.
Yeah.
No, I think the same as him. Not really. I think it's a lot different here. I think it's been. I wouldn't call it inconvenient. Yeah, I think it's just a lot different. Like you have to learn the culture, and like for example, when you're talking to people, it's different. Like people here are a lot. I think you said people are nice, but I noticed like how much nicer people are. Like in the U.S., you don't. People say kindly. The word kindly a lot here. Like, could you kindly do this, or kindly would you? In the U.S., it's just like, hey, can you do this? So that's really cool. I like how nice everybody is.
Yeah, same thing. I agree with both of them. It's all about the fact that greetings, especially greetings, that's really important. You wake up in the morning, I can say, hey, good morning. They say good morning back. We have a quick little session, and now we're talking like as if I've known the guy or the girl for years. And it's fun. You don't have that in the States. I really appreciate how nice Kenya is. Yeah.
Well, you have that in some parts of the states.
Well, some part, yes, some part.
Okay. It's like, did you have maybe some kind of stereotypes that you had back in the US that you came here maybe found out it wasn't true? Maybe some things you maybe found out true.
I didn't have any stereotypes. I don't think. I've been to Kenya before, and I've been. I mean, I think I've gone to a number of different places. So I think I don't. I try not to come into anywhere with like preconceptions or anything like that. Honestly, yeah, I think I pretty much knew what to expect, and it's been nice.
Nothing much really. Same thing here. Just nice. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I just watch out behind you. I just pretty much go inside places. Like pretty much didn't know anything about Kenya before I came. So I just wanted to come in here with a fresh slate, nothing in mind, to see like truly experience it myself instead of going by like, oh, like the stereotype of this. But instead just start off with a clean slate and just build my own opinions.
Okay. Do you think like there's something maybe Americans think about Kenya or maybe Africa in general that you think is false here? There must be something.
I can't. I'm gonna let them go first. I can't think of anything else.
I mean, you're asking if we had preconceptions. I don't think I did, but I think, yeah, definitely you hear stuff in the U.S. People are like, I think sometimes, I think you get this everywhere in the world, right? People think of places other than their own home as like maybe not as the best place. Like I love where I'm from, and I'm assuming that you guys love where you're from. But I think sometimes it's like, oh, like these other places aren't, some place you want to go to, or maybe you wouldn't want to go there. Personally, I've found it to be like really, really cool here. So, yeah.
I think what people would mostly like find hard troubles here, I feel like would be how open it is, like just how easy access stuff can be. Everything is usually like takes a lot of conversations to get to, like where you need to go, all that type of stuff. And also the fact that, everyone's just so natural with each other. So like, the body, like the personal bubble thing, that's going to be a really huge factor for people in the States to come face here. They may not be able to handle like, the personal bubble being a lot more tighter. But I think it just naturally grows as time. But once you find people are welcoming, then you'll understand that's okay because everyone's welcoming each other, everyone's nice to each other. In the States, a lot more hard. You can look at someone, they may not be nice to you. So obviously, when you stand close to each other, like, what are you thinking? So that's why I think personal bubble.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with them too. It's just, I'm like, I don't have anything really more to add. It's just.
So how has you coming to Kenya? Yeah? How has it changed you as a person?
How is what?
Like you coming to Kenya, how has it changed you?
Oh, how has it changed me? Oh, I think pretty much how it's changed me is just like how like pretty much the differences between Kenya and versus the States. So I think that's going to be one of the main things. So I'm going to be like hyper aware of that whenever I go back, like how everything around here is like super clean and then everybody is super nice and like greeting each other, having conversation. And that's pretty much going to be one of the things that I'm going to try to at least bring back to where I'm like at least like greeting each other nicely and talking to each other like differently compared to like how it normally is.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying like we don't greet each other. I feel like we greet each other nicely in the U.S. I like where I'm from.
We greet each other nicely, but it's not as nice as like here, where it's like it's like a whole conversation of like how are you doing?
What I'll say is I think I've met a lot of cool people, made some good friends, and I hope I keep those people for a long time. So I think that's what I hope. Yeah.
What was the question again? Sorry, I had lost.
Okay, like you coming to Kenya, how has it changed you?
How has it changed me? I would say the fact that just general, like in my head, always respect everyone. Like everyone has good intentions for you. That's what's in my head always. I look at someone, I don't have to think, oh, there may be some negativity that they have towards me. I think just the fact that I can naturally be myself and naturally be good. I think that's what's changed me. Yeah, just be nice. Yeah.
Okay. I think you've talked a bit about this, but I want you to explicitly talk about the differences. Maybe how you compare Kenya to the U.S.
I can go.
I'll let him go first. He's already ready to go.
You can go if you want. You've been so agreeable. Maybe you should go first.
It's my personality. What can I say?
What do you think?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. So the main differences, I feel like would be pretty much just how everything is run and how like I don't know how to describe it. So pretty much the cleanliness is one thing that I was talking about, greetings, and then how the people stand up for themselves inside the country. I've been seeing that all these past couple of Tuesdays and Thursdays that's been going around. And then also just like how things are run like inside buildings like where we're living. It's just completely different than how it is whenever like we're back at home and everything like that.
Again, maybe I'll push back a little bit to say I think people are very, very. Here's the difference, right? Okay, I'm from Texas. I'm from the South. It's a little bit different. I think people in Texas, for example, are really nice. It's one of the things I've really loved, like traveling around the U.S., for example, seeing like I think some other parts of the country. Sometimes people are like different, but where I'm from, I think a lot of people are really kind and nice. Here, I think the difference is people show, I think where I'm from, people show that more in, I don't know, kind of like small ways and actions and things like that. But here, it's really like a lot of pleasantries and things like that. Like I mentioned, people always saying, kindly, would you do this or whatever. Or when you pick up the phone, for example, I've been calling people and they're all saying, you're like, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm good too. Oh, great. All this is a whole thing. Versus I think, when I'm on the phone with, friends in the U.S., it's more of just like, hey, what's up? Just whatever it is we're talking about. So yeah, I think it's a lot more of that. And I think that's cool. I like that.
I would say the big difference between the States and Kenya is what you do when you go outside. When you go outside in the States, you have a specific destination in your head. It's not just, I'm going to walk around and, decide this is where I'm going to go today. Maybe it may be like a small mall area and you can consider that. But in Kenya here, you can just go walk out and you find something new every single day. You can go out and find this great restaurant you've never been to your whole life. You go in there, it's great food. You can come out here to the market. Like we were just actually, I didn't think the market was here. We were walking to our van and here we are and it's so big. I'm looking around, I'm seeing different things, different people. And that's just the fact I like, the fact that the main difference is people go out and the intention is back there, I have somewhere to go to. Back here, everywhere's around you. Every step you take, it's a new destination.
Okay, let's talk about the nightlife.
How many more questions do you have back
Let's
there?
talk, just few.
Okay.
But some questions are popping up because you talked about something. So I'm curious. So, so let's talk about the nightlife. Here in Kenya compared to your country.
Oh, compared. So we've only gone out like one time. So that's the only nightlife we've experienced because the time change and everything like that. So it'd be kind of kicking our butts towards the end of the night. But the nightlife, I will say, is like very different. Not just just like the style of like of where everybody hangs out. So we saw a whole bunch of people hanging out one day outside. I think it was like the store or like Mug and Bean or something like that.
Station.
Yeah, it was like a gas station. They're usually inside the United States. Nobody's hanging out at the gas station. It's usually they're hanging out either in their house and then they go straight to the place that they're going to.
Although I will say it's like a very, very nice gas station. Like,
it was.
Y'all got some fancy gas stations down there. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but like that's one of the main things I've seen of like how everybody kind of hangs out like at like random places, like be at a gas station or at just like a local spot, and then they go out. Versus like in America, it'd be like they basically just go straight out after just hanging out like somebody's place or something like that.
Sorry, what was the question? I forgot.
The nightlife in Kenya.
Oh, right, nightlife. Yeah, so I'd say like him. We only went out like about once, but I mean, the nightlife I'm aware of is like from a college town. Like I didn't really go out and do a lot of nightlife when I was, whatever before that. So I'd say it's not too different, honestly. I think the place we went out to wasn't like too different from like a place we'd go to in college town or something in the U.S.
On the nightlife, I don't really go out back there or here anyways. You can act mostly dumb. So I would say, honestly, I don't know. I don't go out that much. So yeah, I'll say it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing. Do you think Kenya is secure? The security in Kenya compared to the U.S.?
I do think that they're secure, but compared to the U.S., I don't think they're at like. Inside the U.S., there's a lot of restrictions on like everything. Versus here, it's like secure, but it's not like the same secure in my opinion, at least. But,
Would you feel safer here compared to the U.S.?
oh, I still feel safe here. I definitely feel safe here. It's just the security differences. That's the only thing that I see as different. Because like here, like gates are everywhere, but like there, it's like it's kind of open, but it's like there's just I don't know. Yeah, it's like you could tell like everybody's kind of watching out for each other and everything like that. Like I don't know how to describe it because I didn't expect this question if I'm honest with you, but
I hijacked you.
Yeah.
I felt really safe. We've been in Nairobi the whole time, so I think we felt pretty safe. And I've been going out and doing things. You're talking about nightlife. I've just been going out to go whatever, grab groceries or something like that or whatever. So no, I haven't felt. I've felt safe always. Yeah.
My answer is the same. I feel safe, but when I measure security and freedom, when I measure security, I also measure with freedom. You have high security, you have less freedom. You have more freedom, you have less security. So I would say it's depending how each country sees, the value of other things. Like in freedom in the United States, that's kind of general out there. But freedom here, it's really lovely. So I would say, yeah.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay. One last thing.
Last one.
One last thing. This is the last thing. I sorry, the last one.
No worries.
Okay. You're recommending somebody here. Do you have like places you recommend people to go to?
Honestly, I honestly don't even know a single name of the place I've been. Every single time I go out, I go to a different place. So I can't name anything off the top of my head. I think probably if somebody new was to come, we did go to, what was the name of the place?
You're talking about the forest or something?
Oh yeah, the forest was a good place to
I was
go
about to say I was going to say the same thing as you.
Yeah, same
that I don't
thing.
remember really the names of all the places.
Yeah.
Went to the forest. We did zip lining. That was very fun.
Oh, it's Kinjabo Mountain, something like that.
On the name, it just said the forest.
Well, the
literally.
forest, yeah.
It's called like the Forest Adventure or something like that.
Yeah.
But then
They had zip lining. I've never gone zip lining. It was fun.
It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Same for you guys.
same thing, man. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Where are you from?
I'm from Singapore.
What brings you to Kenya?
Tourism. So I think this is one place which was on my bucket list, having traveled 39 countries. I had not done a vacation in Kenya, though I've been come to Kenya earlier, but it has beaches, it has the beautiful forest, and it has the beautiful culture in Nairobi, lakes, so tea gardens. It was on my bucket list for sure.
Okay. How many days now?
14 days is gone, and 2 more to go, and I'm gonna miss Kenya.
Wow. Okay. How was your experience in Nairobi been?
Honestly, we never expected so much of warmth, right? I think the best thing about Kenya are the Kenyan people. They're so friendly, they're so warm, and they want to welcome you all the time. So and the weather is awesome. I have not been to a country where you don't need an air condition or a heater throughout the year. So it's been just an absolute amazing experience.
Like, do you have anything like you never expected before coming here?
Weather for sure, people, the second thing, and I think the one country having so many beauties in various topography, like you could do a beach in Diani, you could do be the with the animals in Masai, you can do the forest, and you can do the mountain in Mount Kenya. I think it has best of all the worlds that we really go for in any vacation.
Do you feel like Kenya has changed you in any way, like compared to how you were in back in your country?
Pole pole. I've become pole pole. I think that's what Kenya said. Go slow, absorb everything around you, and just go slow in life. I mean, because we live in a very fast life. So that's something I'm taking back as a reflection.
So, like, comparing your country with Kenya, like the differences, similarities, do you have any?
I think the only similarities is that Singapore also has beautiful birds and nature and forest because it's a tropical environment. But other than that, I think it's very different, very, very different.
In what ways?
In weather, in the people. The people here, everybody talks to each other. I think in Singapore, people are really, they're so busy in their life and running away all the time from office to home, and they are too much of a private people. But here you can talk to anyone, do high five, do your whatever you call it.
It's called Gota.
Gota, yeah. And everybody is so nice, and even the nightlife. I mean, yesterday we were pubbing till 3:30 a.m. So it was so nice, the music and everything. Very, very joyful.
I'm just curious, how is partying in Singapore like?
Partying in Singapore is good, but it finishes around 10:30, 11. Yeah, generally I do very, very few places where it's light nightlife. But in Kenya, we were hopping from one place to the other till 3:30 a.m. and it was fantastic. And the music was awesome. And one more thing, I think everybody sings very well here. They can create music out of anything, out of bucket, out of a folk or anything. And that's something very unique. People singing and dancing, definitely not there in Singapore.
Okay, if you're given an option to move to Kenya permanently, would you take it?
If I'll have a beautiful tea garden mansion, I would.
Would you recommend somebody planning to come to Kenya? And
Yes, definitely. I've clicked so many beautiful pictures, shared with my friends, and I think they definitely must be planning. One of our cousins is definitely planning next month. But back in Singapore, I'm sure other friends would also come in.
okay, just one more thing. I want to check for somebody from Singapore, how much should you budget for before coming here?
Well, that's one complaint I have. Everything is very expensive in US dollars here, when it comes to especially going for safaris and all that. I mean, per person, per night, it could be expensive. So that's something, if you can bring it down, maybe it's because it's the season, then more people can come in because not everybody can afford to come here and spend that kind of money.
Do you have an amount, an estimate, maybe per month or maybe a week? An estimate
Very
per
difficult,
month?
very
Yeah,
difficult.
I know most people. It depends on the activities you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, say if you want to be low key as possible, how much would you need to spend?
No idea. I mean, but I think it's an expensive vacation. It's not one of the cheap ones. Especially if people are coming from East, they have options to go to Thailand, Indonesia, Bali, which are far cheaper than coming to Kenya.
Okay. Thank you so much. Where are you from?
I'm from England, Bristol.
How long have you been in Kenya so far?
We've been here 2 weeks. We came for safari and we've been to the coast and now back in Nairobi, going home tomorrow.
How has Nairobi been for you as a foreigner?
Arriving on the first day, it was quite overwhelming, quite intense, buzzing, busy. But now being here on the last day of my trip, I feel a bit more comfortable. And I've met Kenyan people who have showed us around the city, and it's made it a lot more accessible as a tourist.
Have you had experience in Kenya that you feel that has changed you as a person?
Going on safari, of course, and meeting people just on the street, seeing how people live. It's made, I guess it's changed me, seeing how colourful life is here. And I mean literally everyone wears bright clothes and likes to talk. There's a real sense of community, which I think is quite different from England. Like I was in a lift in the KICC tower and everyone was just chatting to each other, which you wouldn't expect in England. So it's sort of a real sociable, nice, like colourful life.
I think that brings me like this question, like how would you compare like the comparison differences and maybe similarities between Kenya and England?
Someone else asked me about similarities, and I to be honest, I struggled to think of many similarities. It is so different here. I guess driving on the same side of the road and plug sockets are like two basic things that are similar, but that's not very insightful. But big differences, haggling for everything. That's something that is quite tricky for me as an English person, and not knowing the price of something when you're going to buy it. I guess seeing lots of security as you go in any building. Police people just walking past us there. What else? The traffic. It's difficult crossing the road. Like you just got to have your wits about you at all times, I guess. And people sort of heckling you in the street. I don't know if that's because I'm a tourist or if that just happens. Just the hustle and bustle is just on another level to what I've experienced in England.
Okay. You just mentioned something about cost and stuff. So I would say somebody from England coming to Kenya, do you have like an amount you'd like recommend them to like budget for?
Well, safari's expensive, but it's well worth it. I think, we've been here 2 weeks. I think around £3,000 we spent, but we've had a week of safari, so we knew it was going to be expensive. But the living costs generally it's quite affordable here in Nairobi. But the moment you go on safari, it's just expensive because it's a national park, and it's one of the best national parks in the world, the Masai Mara. It feels like it. So
Okay. Say somebody coming to Kenya, your recommendations, places, and maybe things you'd want them to experience.
Yeah, the Masai Mara definitely, to see loads of animals. Nairobi, experienced how busy it is. We haven't really done that much as like a touristy thing when we've been here. Watamu was where we went on the coast, was really beautiful and surprising. I didn't know Kenya had such amazing beaches and wildlife on the coast, and it's just so chilled, so different to Nairobi. So to experience the two, I definitely say that.
One last thing. Okay, do you have any misconception about Kenya that people talk about maybe in England that you came here and found out it wasn't true? Or maybe something you never knew and maybe you came and confirmed here?
I guess I had a misconception that seeing, you Google England is the language, English is the language of Kenya, but being here, people speak a lot of Swahili, so it's not always as easy to communicate as I thought it would be. So that would probably be my biggest misconception.
Okay. Thank you so much. Where are you from?
China. Yeah.
What brings you to Kenya?
Just travel around. We may all go to Masai Mara or Amboseli next week.
Okay, can you tell me your experience in Nairobi as a foreigner?
My experience, I think the people are enthusiasm, and I can feel their passion, and they are friendly to the travelers, and but in fact, I seldom going back because I heard that it's very dangerous sometimes. There are some parade or something like something happening in June. Yeah. So most time we stay at a hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
You being in Kenya, do you feel like this place has changed you as a person?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe when you now come here, you don't know how it looks like. When I come here, when I came, and I think it's better than I thought before. The city is modernized, I think, and people. There are a lot of people in here, and yeah, that's all I think.
Yeah. Have you had any trouble like as a foreigner in Nairobi?
Trouble?
Any problem?
No, I think no.
It's been smooth since you came here.
Yeah.
Okay. So say somebody plans to come to Kenya, your recommendations to them.
Recommendation, and
yeah.
I think the view in the nature view is very good. I think they will go to the maybe Amasali and Basamara to see what they never seen before. They should take a safari and enjoy the trip.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
The U.S.
What brings you to Kenya?
I've been doing research in Kisumu.
How has life been in Kenya as a foreigner?
It's been great. I think there's maybe you get a lot of attention of being a foreigner, but it's been lovely.
Could you tell me, like, have you had any difficulties?
No, I think obviously there's cultural differences, but you get used to things quickly, and it's not been that difficult.
Say your expectations of maybe Kenya before you came here.
I don't know that I had a ton of expectations. I might not be a very good interviewee. I think that I didn't necessarily know what my work was going to be like, but we got to meet a ton of great people in Kisumu and the surrounding areas. Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like Kenya has changed you as a person since you came here?
No, I don't think so. No more than any other experience.
Okay. Okay. Say somebody plans to come to Kenya. Do you have maybe places or activities you'd recommend them to do here?
I've got recommendations in Kisumu, not in Nairobi though.
Okay. In Kisumu then. In Kisumu.
I mean, Hippo Point was great. Jubilee Market is great. There's a bunch of great malls. West End, Acacia, Mega City Mall is great. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to compare your country to Kenya.
In what way? I don't know. I mean,
Let's say the differences and maybe are there any similarities between Kenya and the US?
I don't know. I think that generally you've got lots of great people and you get to meet interesting people. I think people are pretty similar wherever you go. In the US, I'm primarily at school and I'm in more of a city. This is bigger of a city than I've been in my time here. I think that I've been to a lot of like very rural places in the Kisumu area. Yeah.
How did you survive in Kisumu? Did you have to speak the local language there or maybe English?
The vast majority of people that we talked to spoke English. There was a lot of people who spoke Luo, but they usually had someone with them who could speak English or Swahili.
You can speak Swahili?
No, just a couple words.
Okay. Give me some.
Kwaheri, Jambo.
That's good enough.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow. We plan on doing more content like this in the future. So if you have any kind of question you'd like us to ask, don't forget to share it in the comment section. That's it for this week. I'll be seeing you in the next one.